getting in, we are competing in, we are repeating in, we are believing in. It's time for us to shift our mind from best in the world to best for the world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. It creates a new world to mind a shift, intentionality, perceptuality, conceptuality. We are choosing to shift our mind to best for the world, best for our world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional.
Welcome to Best for the World broadcast, and this session with me, Stellan Nordahl, and my colleague, co-creator and future navigator, Captain Future, also known as Michael Cillian. Here we are on the 7th Best for the World broadcast since 2020 when we started out.
Yeah, fantastic to be back.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. So this session is about the format that was created in 2020 and continued in 2021 and then so on. And now we're writing 2026. We're here with the theme Co-Create Hope. And so the idea is about what have we experienced during those years and maybe why, and also some kind of a idea on what have this meant for us as human beings and the context that we are in, and also what can it be in the future.
Yeah, so the journey of Best for the World.
Yeah. So first of all, maybe we should both ponder a little about. Shall we see if we can talk about the story at first, and then maybe what it has done to us as persons?
Yeah.
Do you want to start, or shall I maybe
you start with the story because you know the origin of it.
The origin of the story. Okay, yeah. So back in 2020, in March 2020, something happened in the world. It was a kind of a synchronicity in the whole world. We all experienced an event at the same specific time. It was called, I don't know if it was called COVID back then or
Corona-19.
Corona and COVID-19 2019 or something. I don't know exactly what the event was called, but it made people very, very, very how can I say it? I think a lot of people was afraid, and worried about what this really was and what it meant for them as persons, and also a society, and maybe the humanity as whole. I think we can all go back to that specific month, March. In beginning of March, it was presented as a pandemic, and the news were all flooded, and all countries in the world were affected in some way. Some of them were shut down, and here in Sweden we were quite modest with that, but we were still affected with governmental how can I say it, structures that were we were put on us as society. We were not allowed to be too many in a room, or we couldn't go to work as ordinary days and so on.
Yeah, so most people were encouraged to work from home or stay at home.
And in some countries, they had some kind of a power over the people. But in Sweden, we were still a lot of the democracy in itself made us not. The government couldn't like tell us.
They couldn't order us.
Order us. They can only talk to us and
recommend things.
recommend stuff. Yeah, that's right. So in the middle of March that year, some of the people that have been engaged in this Best for the World broadcast were at the Innovation Hub having an ordinary meeting, Friday meeting, and we were all like, what is this? What are we experiencing here? What is this event about? And we also realized that the worrying and all of the human. There were so many people afraid of something bigger and broader and more. It over-trumped the virus itself, more or less. Mm-hmm. So the idea back then was that what will happen if we continue like this? People will be paralyzed and tired of being worried. So this can't continue for many weeks. It will have to end in the way the story was told, in some way. And the idea was then, maybe we should talk about other stories that are best for the world. And we realized at that point that, okay, so we are actually, some of us have been telling those stories for years, maybe some of us for decades, maybe some of us for months, I don't know. And we know that there are people like us all over the world. So what would happen if we come together and tell those stories in some kind of a co-creative format? And if we believe in co-creation, what would happen if we make this event so co-created, so there are no curators, there are no people, non people that could be seen as dictating what is to be or not to be. So if we put up some simple principles and some kind of work flow, then everyone that wanted to be part of it could be that.
Yeah, it was simple to enlist yourself.
Yeah. So that was the idea, and we also realized that we need to set a date. So 2 weeks was the limit of the preparation. So in 2 weeks we said, let us have 4 days and 4 nights with live broadcasted
72
events.
hours around the clock.
Yeah, I think it would be and even more. It must have been
exactly 72
96.
hours.
4 days and 4 nights.
No, it was 72. I checked my Facebook memory.
Okay. Okay, so 72 hours of live broadcast around the clock.
Yeah.
Every hour there was supposed to be a new concept, streaming.
Yeah.
And we also set up some studios here in Lomma, in this house where I live. And
they happen to coexist with the Earth Hour weekend as well. I know. I brought my Light Force lightsaber that year, and I have a fantastic picture where your whole home is lighted by a lightsaber.
Okay. So that was the story that created this event, and we also got in touch with people from all over the world. I know that there were people from Czechia and
California,
Czech Republic, and from California, from Bali, and all over Sweden. And some of them also joined here in the studios that we were building here in Lomma.
Yeah.
So that was the idea behind it, and the direction was stories that are best for the world. But we also encouraged everyone to be their own interpreter of what is best for the world.
Yeah.
And to formulate a concept.
Yeah, so we began a journey of exploration. What does it mean to be best for the world? And the old story is best in the world, but the new story is best for the world. So we started exploring that year. Of course, we had been exploring in our own way, but now we started a journey project around this that's now been going for 6 years.
Mm.
This is the 7th time. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, and I think that what this meant, if we go into that,
Mhm.
for me as a person, it was something that I was able to set up, even if it was like a pandemic going on.
Mm.
I could actually contribute to the health of the society, and and also to, in some sense, create new things. Some of the stories that were told had been, I would say, worked upon for years. Others were ideas that we had. And I'm thinking if I could maybe see if I can find the agenda for that year and see what kind of concepts did we experience during that year. So if you tell me a little bit in the meantime, what did 2020 and Best for the World broadcast mean to you?
Yeah, like for me it was a dark time personally, and this was a hope-bringing thing. I had a consulting firm that all the things we got planned for 2020 went out the window, so I lost all hope there. And then you called me up and asked me if I wanted to join, and of course I said I'd jump at anything at this moment. And yeah, it started like a deeper collaboration between the two of us. We'd done some things together, but this was the first time I visited your home and got to know your family, and it became like this is a personal thing. Like this is something we both experienced, that this is something we do for life now, because we needed this beacon of hope, this lighthouse, Best for the World. And I really felt that at that time when I came here. We are the beacons, and all the people who came here. There's so many people who like radiated light and hope in that essence in a very dark and strange time, and that has stayed with me since then. That's why I come back every year, because this is like the highlight of the year.
Yeah, and we also set for a theme that first year, which was the world in synchronicity.
Yeah, exactly.
I've actually found it here. So this was the program tableau of that for that year. So I see if I can share it with all of you.
You're
here.
the tech wizard. You summon techie things into our video here.
I'm working on it. See if I can get it to work here. Something like that, maybe. Okay, so here we go. So this is from the webpage. We work for what is Best for the World, March 27th to March 30th. This is in 2020 then. And we put together some kind of program tableau, co-created in a simple spreadsheet, and
we still use the same spreadsheet.
We still use the same spreadsheet, yeah. And the world in synchronicity. So here is some text about that. It says that it's an opportunity to reflect on the changes brought by the coronavirus pandemic and the many resulting lockdowns in cities and countries. And just to get a feeling of what was the topic bringing in terms of the concepts, we had those 4 days. So I go to Friday here and see what started out the day. And here it says opening, and we have had this opening and intro of Best for the World broadcast every year since then. And see if I can rearrange the different. Let's see if I can get it to work here. Okay, here I think it is. Never mind, it doesn't have to be perfect, of course. So here was the opening session, and I think we were some 4 or 5 people there during that setup. And then there was a concept that I had been bringing to the world a couple of years before. I think it was in 2017 we started out with Radio Intentional Decisions, and you were also part of that. That was one of the key events where we got to know each other in Almedalen and in Sweden, the Democratical Festival in July every year, or end of June, beginning of July every year. And we had a session there with you, I think, in 2018. And here was a new one, and I was the host, and we had Andreas Önnerfors, who is professor of history of ideas, and we had a conversation here in this pod studio. So that was the two first concepts that were broadcasted, and then we had Roland Goodinge, who is a picture poet, having a visual nature meditation, and then it went on, and then it went on
and on and on.
On and on. And we had a very special one here, which have been part of the Best for the World broadcast. I think 3 of the years we have had the Yellow Shares of Thinge, Janet Andersson and Mother Earth in a co-creation where they Janet had prepared a box of soil with questions from Mother Earth that people could do the empathic work of being Mother Earth and posing questions to humanity. And then there were 2 people sitting with their feet in this soil and finding those sentences and questions. And it was very powerful. I remember one of the years where I think Roland and Thomas Holasek were part of that session, and they sat with their bare feet in this box of soil, and they took up a note. And I was, as I do now, I was doing the production and technical production, and the first question was, why do you pollute me? Why do you pollute me? And those 2 grown-up men were crying.
Yeah.
So it was very very powerful. Yeah. And then we also had a coffee table talk on Give Us Gain. How can we use it as a way of maybe using Give Us Gain in terms of pay it forward or whatever you call it. So we had a session here with Jens. Jens was one of the people, one of the persons, I would say, that made this event happen. He was very, very creative in many ways. So he set up the webpage. He made a lot of invitations. He set up all of the framework for Best for the World broadcast. So he did a tremendous, fantastic job, and he also invited a lot of his contacts around the world. And he had an interesting conversation, I remember, with Norbert here in Power Connection. And all of them, you see those that are yellow here. Those are links that you can click, and you can watch the video. Everything was live recorded. And then we had this interesting local food nodes program. Albin Ponat, one of the guys who introduced an idea of having a local hub for local producers of food, connecting them to the communities and to consumers, local consumers. So that was the first day.
Yeah, interesting.
And did you know what happened in the end of that day? Yeah, of course there were more concepts. I'm just scrolling down here. Body expansion. Karin Dackman made a tremendous work there in her home. A lot of those people broadcasted from their home. And and we also had a talk on Empregage way of working. Empregage has been putting a lot of effort into this broadcasting weekend during those 7 years as a main host for it. And in the end of the day, who was taking part? See if I can find it. There it is. Michael Cillian, Captain Future Show. Couldn't you tell us a little bit about what is Captain Future Show and why does this show had such a perfect fit to this Best for the World broadcast?
Yeah, Captain Future Show is me talking to myself or people about the future, so as broad as possible. And I remember I talked to James Hanus, Søren Kurt Kruger, at least in the night hour. I'm a night person, so I'm the night owl, talking to people there. But Captain Future Show is like talking about how do we co-create the future in a broad sense, and it's so interesting because it's such an important topic, and we seldom talk about it. For most people, future is something that happens to us, or we talk about the present, but not the future.
So keep us off the fire in the middle of the night.
Keep us off the fire.
And see if I can go into the next day here, Saturday 28th. Maybe we should just do... okay, so 3 hours of Captain Future Show in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And we also had people from other parts of the world where they were broadcasting, of course, during their ordinary daylight and our night in Central European time. This was in the middle of the night, and of course you were up early here, 4 o'clock in the morning, broadcasting and so on, and yeah, a lot of different concepts here. I know that it was an early morning for me. I was part of this SDG talks with people, I think from... Where is Sadaf Khalid?
Sadaf, she was from Pakistan, but
Yeah.
she was in London
Yeah,
during the
okay.
lockdown. Yeah.
Yeah. And she also brought one more friend from Pakistan in that conversation, I remember.
She ran the SDG Academy in Pakistan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people here. We had a outdoor yoga with Cecilia Alm at her own house out in her garden in March.
In March, yeah.
This was a pandemic. Everything was possible then. So, yeah. First year. See if I can find something that stood out. A lot of interesting formats here. See if I can... I had this very interesting... I was also producer at that point for Great News. It was Erika Mikkelsen and Mikkelsson and Marie Appelqvist having a talk about how can we have a more creative news than... the idea was that good news is good news.
Yeah.
And so they had a very interesting talk on that topic. A lot of different topics here, and see if I Earth Hour. Here goes for Earth Hour. Yeah. And we had 6 years with Earth Hour, and today we have celebrated Earth Hour 1 week in advance.
Yeah.
What is Earth Hour?
Earth Hour is a symbolic act of closing down all your electric lights at home or in a city to symbolize that we care about Earth. So that we can see the collective thing. When you can see your neighbor or your whole city do it, you realize that we are not alone in the quest for a better tomorrow. So that's the thing. But and it's a UN initiative, but it's been like they used Kung Fu Panda as a commercial symbol for this as well. So Kung Fu Panda was Pooh was involved as a mascot for Earth Hour in that essence. And then it's been like it was really successful 10 years ago, but nowadays you feel like no one even talks about it anymore, more than us, and that's sad because we're certain the dire need for Earth is even greater. So we're not done with Earth Hour or the Earth, and like a lot of the sustainability programs also closed down and disappeared with the COVID. Of course, we have new movements and stuff like that, but we got some of our priorities in another way. Some people actually woke up during the pandemic and realized that so much thing going on in the world now that we are a collective civilization. But some things disappeared out of the water. They were not important anymore. Now it's even more profit and more Bitcoin or more AI and more of everything. So some movement over the world went in the wrong direction with COVID, and that's why things like Best for the World broadcast is even more important today. We can see that the world there's war on two places in our part of the world today. We thought we were over with war, but now it's double war, so it's gone in the wrong direction.
And in the last day of that year, we had something that touched me. It was a group of artists in Czech Republic. They had this session called Together Far Apart, and I didn't know in beforehand what I was supposed to expect, but it was a fantastic show actually. They had a group of actors that were used to improvisation, and they hadn't seen each other for a month. They were in the lockdown, and they were having games, and they were having meaningful conversations, and they tricked their friends, and they had a lot of fun together. It was fantastic. It was I think they were 1.5 hour of co-creative ideas, fantastic in so many ways. And we also had a reflection at that point. We then believed that this was something that someone would carry on. We called it carry on the torch of Best for the World, and we had a hope of someone taking this torch and taking it further, and we realized that this event was this event that year, but then COVID didn't go away.
No.
So in 2021, it was still some kind of a urgency in having meaningful conversations. And back in 2021, the theme of that year's was see if I can find it. No, I can't find it. Let's see if I can find what was the
theme for that year.
The theme for that year. I have it here.
Yeah, it's on the first page.
Yeah. Okay. So if you want to see this by yourself, you can go into bestforthe.world, and at that page you scroll down, and there's a little bit story about the global torch of hope and belief in the present. And here we are now. But this is the story. In 2021 we have had a year of change, and it was about how can we learn from this accelerating change curve, and can we see it as a possibility curve. And I guess some of those concepts were super interesting. We had this school and life where we connected 3 schools from different parts of the world. They were working with different concepts of how you can have a teaching and a learning situation with kids. So it was very interesting. And also this fantastic guy Christian Stolne, who was he's very interested in complexity and stuff like that. So he had a session here, and we also have had during the year some conversations. And of course, House of Story with Nick D. Dahlström was one of the fantastic with guests. This is almost like Captain Future show, and he was sitting in his house and having this House of Stories, and people joined into a Zoom call, and at one point there was a fantasy giraffe having a conversation with him. One of his friends, I guess, entered the room, and after a while he put up like a giraffe, a doll, and they were talking about the WHO's framework for existential health. And Nick D, he was like presenting all those fantastic rules, or maybe not rules, more or less like statements for existential health. And when he came to the last one, the giraffe said, excuse me, where is all the giraffeness in this? So existential health only included humans, and not the living organism on planet Earth. So it was fantastic. And at that point I was thinking of, I think it was a Mandrake episode. When I was a kid, I read Mandrake, the series, and there was an episode where they had like a beauty contest for like Miss Universe, but it was like a cow that won the competition in on planet Earth. So really fantastic. Okay, and again, Earth Hour, we have celebrated together with other people around the world. You remember when we had in 2022 when we had a Ukrainian woman with us? It was very powerful. She had just left her country, which was under siege.
Yeah, it was like right around the corner down.
And a lot of interesting concepts here, and
But where do we stand today with Best for the World? And we're going back to the present.
Yeah, back to the present. There is still a bow that was created during the year. So we started out with the World in Synchronicity in March 2020. A year later, a year of change. And then it was an opening for action in 2022. And in 2023, being the change. In 2024, choose wisely. Last year, intentional engagement, and now we are co-creating hope. So, where are we standing today?
Yeah, like the need is even more dire. So, like, the more we work on it, the more we explore, like, how broad this is. There's still the mindset of best in the world everywhere, and it's even, especially in the US now, it's even. Like exploding.
Yeah, but even if I attended a big conference in a regional conference with here in southern parts of Sweden, I think it was 6-7 weeks ago, and up on stage they were talking about how can we be competitive instead of seeing what makes us being a region where we can contribute to the whole.
Yeah. How can we compete with other regions?
Yeah.
How can we beat them?
So definitely it's needed, those conversations, and I believe when you have this retrospective talk here, talking about what we did previous years and so on, why do we do that? Because this is still the thing with this digital world, is that you can come back to something, and you can point on a spot or on a specific event or on a insight that was made, and you can say we must come further. We can't stand on the same point. And you're right now. You're telling me maybe we're not only standing on the same point. Maybe we're moving in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
So let us come together and make something good instead of this. I mean, coming together and not only having conversations, but also say, okay, I'm taking care of this. What shall we do together? Maybe that's something we can add
to it. Yeah.
More action.
Yeah. I went to a local meeting in Halmstad where they want to build a new bridge for cars there,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like really stupid because we don't need more cars, and we certainly don't need this bridge because there's no need for it. So our conversation is what do we do instead? Not oppose, not just be a protest, but actually coming up. What do we do instead of building the bridge? And there's a fantastic group of people that come together in an essence to hope to be best for not the world, but for best for Halmstad.
Mm.
So many warm, inspiring people I met there,
Mm.
and like this is needed everywhere. How do we come together to
Yeah.
be best for something,
Mm.
for the world as a whole, but for most people that's a local perspective.
Yeah, and what is the
or
world?
what you,
What is your world? I've had this exercise with people for many years where what is your world? If you describe your world, how does that look like? And for a lot of people, I wouldn't say everyone, but for a lot of people, it's like 2 or 3 points in more or less a geographic point. It's like this is my house, my work, and my summer residence.
Yeah.
So, and I travel between those 3 points. So that's my life, and that means then, of course, that this is what is valid for most people. But when we look at the news and what is happening, maybe in a global context, it's at the same time they coexist, those worlds.
Mm.
And how can we bring in our day-to-day life into the bigger picture? I mean, right now we are having a great conversation. We have had a great dinner earlier tonight, and we celebrated Earth Hour a week in advance, and we had great conversations a whole weekend. How can we bring that into other people's worlds?
yeah,
Mm.
like bring this energy and this feeling and this narrative around.
Yeah. How can we make this energy and narrative contagious?
Yeah,
Yeah. That is something we need to ponder upon.
yeah,
Maybe by having those conversations, we bring some awareness into it.
yeah. Just like holding the torch.
Mm.
We don't drop the torch.
No.
There's this fantastic quote I shared with you before
Mm.
that been with me for 4 years now. That says, it's from a game called League of Legends. There's a cinematic there where two Lightbringers facing an impending invasion of dark forces, and they say, "We don't run from darkness," says the first character, and the other said, "No, we light the way."
Mm.
And that's keeping the torch alive, and being that torchbearer. And also that comes back to you mentioned briefly keeps off the fire.
Mm.
That's a mental concept I've been working with for like 4 or 5 years now as well, because I've always been a night person, and we got together one early morning in the sun, when the sun was coming up in May 2023 with some board game friends. We've been playing board game around the clock, but 2 of the girls and me were still up when the sun came up, and I talked about this, like, why is it that we are still up and we're cognitive present in the night, even we played board games for 18 hours, like heavy strategic board games? And we had this philosophical feeling that what does it take in a hunter-gatherer society? We had a fire for a very long time, so it's in our DNA to keep it alive. Because before we know how to make fire, we had to find fire and we had to keep it alive around the clock. And then that means that people can't fall asleep on their post. They had to be clearly awake, and that did something with us. We became night persons, some of us, not all, because we need people who keep it alive during the daytime as well. And we were the keepers of the fire, because you couldn't do much else during the night, maybe some small handiwork and stuff, but you couldn't go out and pick nuts or hunt or pick fruit during the night. So we had different activities, and that became like a personality type, keepers of the fire. But there's also a symbolic narrative, because when we talked about torch bearing and keeping the human spirit alive, like the human life or life on earth, that's a fire in itself. And keeping that alive, that means being a keeper of the fire as well.
definitely, and to and don't lose hope.
Don't lose hope. Carry the hope.
Yeah, and create
And spread it.
and co-create it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Michael, for this conversation, and hopefully we will see each other here again in a year.
Yeah.
And
if you're watching, please join us.
Yeah, please join. And in the meantime, I would say let's keep the torch
Yeah.
high held.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Here we go.
We are creating the world we're now living in. We are competing in. We are repeating in. We are believing in. It's time for us to shift our mind from best in the world to best for the world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. It creates a new world to mind a shift, intentionality, perceptuality, conceptuality. We are choosing to shift our mind to best for the world, best for our world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional.